Have you seen the article in the New York Times? I think it came out this week. It's called "They Spent Their Life Savings on Life Coaching." And y'all, it's pretty scathing. They are talking about they interviewed several people who had spent thousands of dollars, if not tens of thousands of dollars, on life coaching and trying to become coaches, and all they have to show for it is massive debt and disillusionment, and they're in therapy because they're depressed because they're so delusioned and so upset with themselves for spending all this money, and it really paints the industry as a scam, as a pyramid scheme. And the sad thing is that there's a lot of truth to that. There are a lot of people in this industry that all they care about is making money, and they don't care about people getting results, and they sell to people even when they know they really don't have the money. There's coaches I've heard that encourage people to get second mortgages on their homes with no guarantees of what they're going to get with the coaching. And this is a problem, and it's been a problem for a really long time. And I really hate that it's out in the New York Times, because it's ugly. Now, they did talk to the International Coaching Federation, which is our kind of like governing body, right? But for the most part, we're very unregulated. And the ICF, really talks a lot about ethics and about competencies, and really wants everybody to be certified. And so the article talks about and does give credit, because there are some healers and coaches, although the focus is, on coaches for this, but there are a lot of people out here actually doing good work and really helping people grow. I know I've worked with many of them. I've invested in, you know, um, all kinds of health coaching and relationship coaching, and all kinds of stuff, and I genuinely say that therapy saved my life, but personal growth and coaching made it worth living. And the article acknowledges that there are people out there that are ethical, that are really trying to help people, but it very rarely really talks about the people who aren't, and the problems that are inherent of this in this. So I think what this means is that regulation is coming, like, sooner rather than later. And I've kind of seen this writing on the wall for several years now. So I actually just finished my 10th mentor coaching session yesterday, and I'm going to be applying for my ICF ACC accreditation very soon. And if you are a coach and you're somebody that wants to stay in this industry, go get some training. Go get some training, because coaching it's not what a lot of people think it is. It's not consulting, it's not giving advice, it's asking good questions, right? And there's an art and a science to it. And so getting trained really is to your benefit if you're in this for the right reasons and you really do want to be of help. Like, go get you some accredited training and go ahead and get that certification, because what I think is going to happen is that once the regulation happens, hopefully those of us that have already gone through the credentialing process with, a very reputable body like the International Coaching Federation, hopefully will be grandfathered in. But if I think the industry will stay legal. I think they're just going to regulate the fuck out of it. And I think that for people that are new coming into the industry, or people who haven't bothered getting their credentials, I think they're probably going to have to go through a minimum 2 to 4 year degree. Now, I'm not basing that on anything but just my gut instincts, but my gut instincts are pretty good, right? So I think that it's also it's interesting timing, because the FTC has really ramped up investigations into misleading marketing and pushy sales tactics, and they're finding the crap out of a lot of big names, and they're starting to go after like smaller people too. And this isn't to scare you, right? It's just a call to action. Like, we need to get our shit together as an industry, and I think it's more important than ever to really look at our ethics in our marketing, in our sales, in the way that we're serving people, and really be focused on, not just selling to anybody, sell to the people that are qualified, like really understand what pre-qualifying someone means and how to tell if somebody is likely to get good results with you. Because if they don't, then they're just one more person that feels like they've been ripped off by this industry. And it's really sad, because I think the coaching world is so powerful. I think that coaching is such a powerful force in the world, and I think so many people need it, but we're gonna have to work twice as hard, you know? Like, we spend a long time, like, preaching to the choir, you know? It's the coaches coaching coaches who coach other coaches kind of thing. I call it, like, the circle jerk of coaching. But you know, there's more people that we could help. But with this article coming out and with everything with the FTC, like people outside of the industry who maybe didn't have a bad opinion of us before are now seeing this. So we really need to come together. We really need to, you know, really look at the way that we're doing things and search our hearts and also educate ourselves about compliance. I'm going to do another video later about compliance and ethics aren't quite the same. There are a lot of things that the FTC regulations, once you know people start really paying attention to them and realize that yeah, you can really be fined, you can lose your business, you can actually be barred from an industry forever if the FTC decides that you were that bad, right? It's rare that they do that, but it can happen, right? So when people start to pay attention to that, a lot of people have their heads in the sand about it. And they're like, no, it's not going to happen to me. Or if it does, I've made so much money, I'm just going to pay a fine. Like, believe me, I've been learning about what the process is like. I just got certified in FTC compliance from a course taught by a lawyer who's a specialist in FTC law. And you do not want to be investigated by them, even if you have all the money in the world. Like it is still hell on earth. But there's a lot of people that are still rolling the dice. They don't really think it's that serious yet. And so we're still going to see some pretty, you know, sleazy stuff. But the FTC stuff, the regulations are going to cut down on a lot of it, but it's not going to eliminate all the sleazy stuff. And you know, it's up to us as individuals to decide, you know, what feels ethical to us, what feels right, and what I go by is like how I want to be treated as a client. So I'm going to put the link to the article, the New York Times article, in the comments and or in the description. And I would love to hear your thoughts on your experiences. I got to tell you, y'all, like most of the people that I talk to, over 90% of the people that I talk to online have at least one horror story of, you know, paying somebody thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars and getting basically nothing. And then being told, well, you just didn't have a good mindset. And I won't go off about all this, but I do have two books that I've published. One was the Online Entrepreneur Survival Guide, and it was pretty ranty. I put that out. I wrote it in the end of 2021 where I was seeing all these sleazy practices, and I wanted consumers to be aware of it so that they could avoid it. And then I rewrote it and condensed it and made it less preachy and yeah, I was pretty pissed when I wrote the first one, and more like a practical guide, like the 7 steps that I found from doing, you know, tons of investments in both my personal growth, spiritual growth, health, and my business. Oh my God, so many business investments. So it's a 7-step guide. It's called What Every Entrepreneur Wishes They'd Known Before They Hired a Business Coach, because everybody I've shared these 7 steps or the, you know, parts of it with have all said, God, Heather, like, where were you? I wish I had known this stuff 5 years ago. It would have saved me so much money. So I'm going to sign off, but I just want to jump in and talk about this. I'll be making more content around it. Let me know what you want to know. And yeah, Heather Wild out.